Hey, what's up, beautiful souls? Happy Friday. I hope your day and your week went well, and I hope that you were able to silence some of the outside chaos and really enjoy your week and day. And if not, start now. Today, I just wanted to share with you some divine connection that I've experienced today, and super powerful, connected day. So it really started last night. When I go to bed, I like to watch documentaries on different religions, different practices, just all kinds of educational stuff. I like to educate myself with documentaries. So I started watching one on the third temple in the book of Revelations, and I don't subscribe to any set religion. I find divine truth in a lot of the religions. I consider myself somebody that is a free thinker, and I developed my own relationship with God a few years back, and what God means to me. And I don't subscribe to any religion, so don't dismiss what I'm saying as religion's bullshit, because a lot of it has been manipulated over the years. But there's divine truth in it, and a lot of it is metaphorical, and it's just misinterpreted. But anyways, I'm watching the documentary on the third temple, and fall asleep, wake up this morning before my alarm, and it was 1 minute and 44 seconds to go before my alarm went off, and I'm like, oh, okay. I see 144 all the time, and if you're familiar with the Bible or even some New Age beliefs, 144, more specifically 144,000, is very significant. And biblical times, it's when the kings of Israel return in the book of Revelations, and that's when the second coming of Christ is going to happen. The New Age thought process is 144,000 light workers or ascended masters are going to be incarnated on this earth to help heal humanity and bring understanding to the next era of human consciousness, which we are moving fully into, the age of Aquarius. And even metaphysically speaking, 144,000 is the rays of light that emanate from your energy centers or your chakras. So very significant. And even breaking down 144 even more, if you're into numerology, 1 and 4 and 4 is 9, and 9, according to Tesla's theory, is the universal blueprint numerically, and man, so just a really powerful number in my reality and my truth. And you may think, what the fuck is this guy talking about? That's fine. So very significant in my reality. So wake up, that happens, and get in the car. I'm like, okay, I feel, okay, I feel it. Just, connected in. So I get in the car, put on my Pandora on my phone, and as I'm putting it on, I'm like, man, I'd love to hear Great Spirit by Nako. And the first fucking song that comes on Pandora on my Nako station is Great Spirit. I'm like, it's gonna be a fucking powerful day. Whew, okay, thank you, God. Give my thanks. Get to work. A little bit of slow time. I'm reading about the third temple again, just kind of looking into more information, just to have the knowledge and the wisdom. And one of the kids that I work with was like, "Hey, Mr. Hafler, will you turn on the History Channel?" So I'm like, "Sure." Flip it on, and I go back to reading my literature about the third temple in the book of Revelations, and I overhear the History Channel on Ancient Aliens talking about the book of Revelations and the third temple. I'm like, holy shit, you've got to be So the kid that asked me to turn it on, I've been working with him, and I actually gave him a book by Roy Eugene Davis. It's a spiritual guy that I read a lot of his publications. Has a really beautiful perspective on God and divine practices and the divinity in general. But so I'm like, holy shit, Jackson, dude, this shit, can you believe this? I'm reading about this right now. And I show him the literature that I'm reading, and he's like, holy cow. So it goes on, and I click the next page, and I start to read about the 7 churches. And the first prayer that's on the page with the 7 churches is talking about, I wrote it down. It's in the book of Revelations again. It's like, okay, it just keeps coming. And in Revelation 3:18, it speaks about, I counsel you to buy from me gold refined in fire so you can become rich. For the last month, I've been talking to my fiance about investing in gold and silver because the dollar has fallen and people don't realize it's in default. They just keep printing more and more, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. So I see this after I have this conversation with my fiance about investing in these metals, which I would recommend you look into. I'm not a investor guru. I'm not a guru of any sort. I'm just sharing my experience, but it might be something you want to look into. So anyways, I see that, I'm like, holy shit. Okay, thank you, God. Invest in gold. There's your sign. Hello. So it goes on, and I'm just sitting there like trying to collect my thoughts, like, holy shit, this day is, wow. You can't even really put into words. And I look over at the kid, and he has a 13 tattoo on his shoulder. So I, like, 13, look up the spiritual meaning behind 13 for this kid that's really seeking higher truth and really diving within himself, that's reached out to me. And I'm like, 13, the significance of 13. So I look it up, and it's talking about how to focus on the positive aspects of your life, and when you see this number, to focus on the positive. And the day before, I was playing basketball with this kid, and he's like, I'm not going to make this shot. I'm not going to do this. I'm no good under pressure. I'm no good. So we had this beautiful discussion about really focusing on the positive aspects and how that can help usher in more positive aspects in your life. And now the next day, after all these divine connections of the TV and what I'm reading in the book of Revelations and gold, and just following that path, I look up this number, and I'm like, hey man, come check this spiritual meaning of 13 out. And I noticed that you were holding up your shirt and you have a 13 tattooed on your arm. And this kid he's like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of information. Like, you could tell he was getting like nauseated from the information overload of what I was sharing with him and the divine connection that I was sharing with him. And the very next Ancient Aliens comes on talking about the Great Pyramids, and full circle with this conversation in this video, the Great Pyramid of Giza had 144,000 external casing rocks. So it was cased with 144,000 casing rocks. Just continued bombardment of confirmation of my path, and confirmation for this young man that's seeking his own relationship with God and higher powers and higher dimensions. And so this led into a beautiful discussion about life and higher powers, and just really was a beautiful caveat to open these kids up to the conversation that it's uncomfortable for teenagers. And when you're still trying to figure out your ego and who you are as a human, it's really hard to step outside of that and look at spirituality and signs that can be dismissed as coincidences, or whatever you want to call these things that happen in our life. Man, they're really powerful confirmations, and some call them synchronicities, but it's really a synchronicity is an individual or a singular event, in my opinion. But there's the next layer to that is synchronicity is no longer really a word, because as you go deeper and deeper and deeper, everything is synchronistic and everything is directly tied. And we get caught up in verbiage and science and religion and all these things, and metaphysics and you name it, and they're all directly related. We just use different words, and the linear thinking that we are programmed to have keeps us away from connecting the dots, that everything is interconnected and everything is one. The oneness of creation and God is robbed from us by this linear programming. But man, whew, tune in. Start talking to God. Start developing your own relationship with God. If you're religious, so be it. If you're not religious, start talking to yourself. God will listen. Start talking to your higher self, to your intuition, your spirit guides, your angels, your deceased ancestors. Start communicating with the spiritual realm and asking for protection. Be careful. Learn about communicating with the spiritual realm. That is key. I almost led you down a potentially uncomfortable path. Remember, you have a vessel and a spirit. You're more powerful than these spirits that come into your life. So if a spirit is bringing fear and negative energy, tell it to fuck off. It may get a little bit louder. Stay with it. Stay true to yourself. Know that you have the light in your heart that will always protect you. And that is the God energy, the God vibration, the love frequency will always protect you if you tap into it. Don't tap into the lower energy fields and the root chakra of fear and the red energy, the fight or flight. Tap into the heart. Let that gold light radiate. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sending out waves of love and just golden light and beautiful energy, because we're all beautiful and we're all in this together and we're all going through stressful times. Whether you wear a mask or not, love each other. Whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're red, love each other. Hold each other in our heart space and have compassion, because times are crazy and they're only going to get better if we come together. I love you guys. Have a magical weekend.